And with that, we're going to our next keynote presentation, which is in person by Curtis Osceola of the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida, who serves as the tribe's Chief of Staff. Prior to his work in tribal government, Mr. Osceola worked as an assistant public defender in Miami-Dade County's Felony Division and as an associate attorney at the Miccosukee law firm, where he successfully litigated an opioid mass torts case on behalf of his tribe against the third largest opioid distributor in the United States. Prior to his legal education at the University of Miami, Mr. Osceola headed a business development project in Overton and directed the slot department at the Miccosukee Casino and Resort. He also graduated from the University of Miami with a bachelor's in finance as a member of the Hyperion Council, an honor council oriented to promote corporate social responsibility. Mr. Osceola's work now involves the supervision of the tribal administration and the management of the tribe's internal and external policy agenda. Thank you, Mr. Osceola, for joining us today.
Thank you. So, first I want to thank the Coastal and Heartland National Estuary Partnership. You know, that intro, when you put it all in one paragraph, it's kind of cool. I didn't think I'd be standing up here in front of you talking about climate resiliency. So last night when I was preparing comments for today as a keynote, I was thinking about how I could add value to the conference. And I had met with staff yesterday because I know all of you are working very hard in your respective industries and working hard in your respective communities. I have some comments prepared, but I was curious. I saw we have some policymakers in the audience, and I was curious who here was in office during Hurricane Ian. Is there anyone who was here in office during Hurricane Ian? We have one, two. So I just think it's remarkable what you all went through during Hurricane Ian. I'm not sure how many of you understand how stressful that must have been for these two leaders, but you know, it's a nightmare that I know a lot of people relive every time a hurricane comes on the TV, and it's a consequence of a number of generations of destruction that we have brought on ourselves. I think that we have a unique opportunity in this age, in this generation, and the generations to follow, to begin to reverse that. I think that the leadership of our political bodies, I saw that politicians and Republicans were, I think, the biggest obstacles to addressing climate resiliency. But I think that it's important that people understand that climate change and climate resiliency is a nonpartisan issue. This is a reality. Why do I say that? How do I know that? Well, I know that because the tribe spans 1.2 million acres of land in Florida. Our usage and our gathering and our culture span the entire state, from Dade County, south to the Keys, across to Chokoloskee, north to Marco Island and Naples, all the way north to Bonita Springs, Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, and even Sarasota County, and then into the middle of the state in Highlands and Hendry County. So we have this massive footprint, and I think it's good that we're here talking about these things, and then I can share with you some perspectives as your neighbor. One of the things I wanted to highlight is that the tribe is on the front lines of climate change because of our extensive reach. Our land in Fakahatchee is seeing the intrusion of mangroves to the north across US 41, which is Tamiami Trail. And so we're seeing the destruction of wetlands by salt water. And this is also in addition to this is caused in part not just by sea level rise, but by failed water management practices of the last century that this generation is trying to correct via comprehensive Everglades restoration. In our community, we've adopted NOAA's projected sea level rise as a matter of policy. via our tribal council. We've recognized that the intermediate high to high levels are expected. We've seen it during hurricanes. We've seen the floods that happen in Everglades National Park into the Okalookuchi Slough. This is real stuff that's happening that we see every single year. We're designing and constructing a solar microgrid currently. We're moving from septic tanks to a sewer system, and we are hardening our infrastructure to prepare for storms, flooding, and fire. Why are we doing this? It's because for the last half century, we've seen the consequences of human intervention in nature's plan. And we see that the environment is reacting to us. In our culture, the way we view the earth is like a living creature, one that is sentient in a certain way. Not like you or I that has eyes and ears and nose and a mouth, but one that understands what's happening on its entire surface at any given moment and is responding systemically to the inputs that it's receiving from its inhabitants. And because of that, we're seeing this change in our climate. We're seeing the warming of our waters, the thermal expansion of our oceans, the melting of ice caps, severe weather events in populated areas. We're seeing drought, we're seeing flooding, fires. We're seeing all these things, and these are symptoms. The real illness is our inaction to respond to our own designs, our own bad designs. With that said, the tribe and you all, I hope, can refocus and focus on adaptation. That's what this conference is about, is adaptation. And the tribe invites you as well to focus on mitigation, so adaptation is sort of forward thinking about how the world's going to be in the future, and then mitigation, which is fixing what we've already broken, fixing the world so it can be a little bit better, so we can treat some of the symptoms and potentially cure the disease. My people, the Miccosukee, have always adapted to survive. We are one of two tribes in Florida. It's us and the Seminole tribe, and the only reason we're still here is because we hid out in the Everglades and the Big Cypress. We were afforded shelter from annihilation by hiding out on tree islands, in palm hammocks, oak forests, and in the cypress domes. And we were able to do this because it was our Mother Earth that embraced us and protected us. And 150 years later, when we came out of our swamp, we came out a little different. We came out a lot more hardened, a little bit wiser, but a lot stronger to face the challenges of the day. So we see the world around us now, and we feel through our gaming enterprises and the wisdom of Congress to allow Indian tribes to game, we feel that we now have the resources to respond and to be a leader in climate resiliency. We'll do our part to protect our lands, conserve our lands, and mitigate our impact to the environment, to reduce our footprint, and to conserve. So now I offer this to you, this perspective to our neighbors and our friends. I offer, come see our lands. Come see our efforts to adapt and mitigate. This is an open invitation from the Miccosukee tribe to come see exactly what we're doing and how it works. Come learn from our successes. Come gain wisdom from our failures. But most of all, learn to embrace this land like we do. We have a tremendous opportunity to be present in this world, in our home, to enjoy the abundance of our land and the water that the Creator placed here for us. But most of all, we have a chance not just to wish and hope for a better future, but to make it so with our gifted hands together. So with that, I do thank you for the tremendous honor of your attention and your time. When it was asked, what's the biggest obstacle to climate resiliency and adaptation, my answer was time. I put that because now's the time. If we wait, if we pass it on, if we delay action, if we delay our hands from doing the work, we will watch the world fail. And we'll watch it fail because we'll watch our rivers dry, we'll watch our Lake Okeechobee die, and we will watch our forests wither away in flames. So with that, I invite you to come see what we can do together to learn for yourself what is possible in the here and now. Shana B'Shat. Thank you.